everyone's okay. Hope everyone's all right, and looking forward to a good week still. Obviously, Spurs not playing until Sunday. It's nice. Well, it's just nice they can't ruin my middle of the week, really. So we're gonna be talking in this video surrounding the guys out on loan. Loads of really good stuff about the guys out on loan, by the way. Lots of good stuff. I want to talk about a fascinating article from Tom Barkley talking about the injury issues at Spurs and why I think at the moment there's a bit of a groundswell behind opposing fans, which, I'll talk about that, and opposing sort of managers and things like that, actually really understanding what Spurs are going through, more so than a lot of our own fans at times. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. And plus a few other little bits and bobs, because there's a few other little bits that I do want to talk about. And yeah, we'll sort of get into it. Morning, Sonia. How are you? Owen, Spurs, Adventures, Spazza. How are we all? Yeah, let's jump in and we'll start with the loan roundup because I'm going to fly through it. I'm not going to waste anyone's time. Don't worry. But there's some really, really good stuff out of the weekend that's just come around. What I will quickly do is start with the two guys out in Leyton Orient because obviously, if you weren't aware, Leyton Orient played Manchester City in the FA Cup. And even though it considered an own goal for Ortega, Jamie Donley basically scored from the halfway line. And Pep had a lot of praise for Donley after the game, which is always good. I mean, Josh Keeley made so many big saves as well. I mean, the first goal was a deflection. There's not a lot I can do about it. The second goal was a great finish by De Bruyne. It could have been so many more goals. And look, they gave a great account themselves. And the beautiful thing is, I think Jamie Donley at the moment, to give you these stats, Jamie Donley has 5 goals and 5 assists in his last 9 League One games for Leyton Orient. That's 10 goals or assists contributions in 9 games. He's going to be bonkers, I think, for Spurs. I really do think so. And I think he might be with the first team squad next season. I think there needs to be a trust in him as well, because I think at times we as fans get too excited about young players and then don't trust them. We need to trust this one for sure. But yeah, all in all, good performances from the two guys. Give you a little bit of young flavored news out of QPR. He made his second appearance on Tuesday night when he came on for the last 24 minutes in QPR's win versus Blackburn. He followed that up 3 days later in the 2-1 defeat at Millwall. Just good experience. It's just good experience. And he looks good there at the moment. He does look good there at the moment. Always lively when he's coming on, apparently. Moving over to West Brom flavoured news with Will Lancashire. He came on in the 67th minute in their 2-1 win at home to Sheffield Wednesday. You can say they were 0-0 at the time, and he came on and they won 2-1. So make of that what you need. West Brom, though, really do like him. A lot of people, fan-wise, saying, oh, no, he's Spurs. He's no good, Spurs. Leave him with us for a few seasons. He'll be all right. Their way of saying, please don't call him back. He's actually quite decent. So that's really warming to know, really. Especially because they brought Adam Armstrong in to play striker. So, and also he's playing for a team, when I've talked about it previously, he's playing for a team that is fighting to come back into the Premier League after so many years away. So, again, warming to see. Give you an update, Cardoso lost in a 3-2 loss away to Celta Vigo. Bad loss for Betis. Didn't play well. Probably, I'd say they didn't deserve to come out of this game with anything other than a loss. Maybe a draw if you're being nice, but yeah, not great on the Betis side of things. A little bit of Notts County flavoured news, because a 2-0 win at home for Notts County versus Morecambe. George Abbott playing more and more football again, and he's been brilliant down in League Two. He really has. And I mean, we talk about fans like at West Brom liking Lancashire. They are liking George Abbott as well. He played 90 minutes. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 28 appearances this season, so 8 goal contributions in 26. Hey, that's not too shabby from a central midfielder, is it? That's not too shabby. So great news for him. And Notts County are doing well in the league at the moment, okay? They are, let's have a quick look, second. So they're actually up above Doncaster, who played last night against Palace in the FA Cup. They're 6 points behind Walsall, who are top. You never know. Funnier things have happened. Let's leave that one there. Stoke City losing sorry on penalties after drawing 3-3 with Cardiff, sorry, in the FA Cup. Ashley Phillips didn't play, to give you a heads up on that one. Girona losing 3-0 away to Athletic Bilbao. I mean, they had 3 shots to Bilbao's 23. So I don't think anyone's surprised that they lost this game. They probably deserved to lose this game, all in all. He got 67 minutes in this game. I mean, the fact is he's got 4 goals and 3 assists in 28 appearances, 1 every 4. It's not outrageously bad. It's all right. And again, he's in the Spanish squad for a reason. So that's something we should hold on to. Leeds flavoured news, with Leeds United losing in the FA Cup 2-0 to Millwall. Again, they'll be disappointed by this. I mean, Jaffet Tanganga, another clean sheet, by the way. So well done to Jaffet. But Manor in the week, when they beat Coventry 2-0, grabbed another assist, which fair play to him. A lot of the Leeds fans saying that he was probably the most lively of players when it came to the Millwall game, when he came off the bench. He's got 6 goal involvements in the last 6 games as well. 3 goals, 3 assists. He's got 6 goals and 7 assists across 26 matches. So 13 goal contributions, 1 every 2. Hey, that's a player that we can get some money out of this summer if we're going to sell him. All right. Westerlo flavoured news, because they won 4-2 yesterday, actually. They won 4-2, by the way. With only Divine playing. No Vuskovic. But Divine, hang on a second. I just want to check when Alfie Divine actually went off, because I think it went off quite early. Yeah, Westerlo made a double substitution in the 24th minute and Alfie Divine was one of them. But yeah, and Vuskovic missed out through suspension. So, what can you do? Tarzan, how are you? Ozzy, how are you? How are we? So I'm nearly done. All right. I know people want to talk about the other stuff, but I am nearly done, I promise. Mansfield Town, Matthew Craig still out at the moment, losing 1-0 at home to Northampton. Not good form at the moment for those guys. Espanyol, though, obviously had not long beaten Real Madrid's in the league. He's really, I mean, Espanyol are not exactly the best team when it comes to possession and things like that. So don't expect the Leeds to be getting on the ball, but he is getting fairly regular minutes. That's the key thing for his development. He is getting fairly regular minutes. In this game, he came on in, let me just double check, came on pretty much at half time. So again, 45 minutes against Sociedad away. Sociedad obviously a good side, and they were 1-1 right until the 84th minute, until Mendes took the lead. So good minutes though, regardless. Alfie Dorrington, Aberdeen. He made his full debut, obviously, last weekend in a 2-0 defeat versus Hibs. He got 22 minutes from the bench in the win versus Dunfermline on Sunday, which is good. So, look, good minutes as well for Dorrington. Obviously, he's only just really arrived at Aberdeen. So, let's hope that continues. Let's just hope that continues. So, all in all, some really good stuff out of the week for those guys out on loan. I'm really happy with some of those guys and how they're doing. Yeah, just need to keep going. So yeah, there's the low roundup sorted. 23 shots to 3 sounds like Spurs versus Reds. Hey, Big D, how are you? Big up Andy in chat. Hope everyone's doing well. Will I be covering Mel? Yeah, I might have to start covering Mason. Yeah, I completely forgot about it, if I'm honest. So I'll have to. Morning, D's, how are you? Yeah, going to be talking about the guys returning from injury. We've got some good news potentially about returnings from injury. But I want to start though with a couple little bits, because there was a great article, which I will put into the chat now, that if you do want to read along with me in a second, you're more than welcome to. It came from Tom Barkley. So it's there, but I want to bring in something first, because I think this would make a lot of sense. I think a lot of people going, Porro's rubbish, Porro's this, Porro's that. And I sort of have to give some context. I think Porro's form has dipped because of the sheer volume of football he's having to play. He's played more football than any other player at this club right this season. And when he's had a little bit of rest, you still see the quality that he has. You think of Man City away, he was brilliant, right? If he gets a little bit of rest, I think there is still a great player in there. Just needs to have that. I mean, Pedro Porro, listen to this. This is mental. Pedro Porro has played more minutes than any outfield player in Spain, Italy, England, France, and Germany. So you're talking about the top 5 leagues. He has played the most football. Well, I can probably put 2 plus 2 equals 4. He's probably going to be a little bit knackered from all of this. Okay. But looking at that article, like I said, I'm going to talk about it now. If you want to open it, have a look at it as I talk about it. It starts off with saying that Ange Postecoglou has a point. Tottenham's injuries have hit them more than any Prem club, and Spurs' crisis is statistically 25% worse than any top flight side competing in Europe this season. I mean, already that's just crazy. I mean, there's an image saying the number of injuries / absentees for English clubs competing in Europe. Spurs at 213, Arsenal at 169, which Arsenal have made it out like they are the most unlucky football team in the world. Man City 158, Man United 157, Liverpool at 100, Villa at 97, and Chelsea at 79. And I think you have to say, I mean, Liverpool made a wholesale changes for Plymouth in the FA Cup and lost. They didn't have to do that. They chose to do that because obviously they want to keep their guys fit and fresh for the cup finals, the title run, the Champions League run. And, they thought this is enough to get through. And it probably should have been enough to get through. But obviously losing to Plymouth. I mean, Villa at the moment have a bit of an injury issue, but previous to this didn't have any real issues. Chelsea, obviously, they're doing fine. But yeah, I mean, to be 44 ahead of Arsenal there. 44? Yeah, 44 ahead of Arsenal is just bonkers. So that's the next most badly hit, by the way. There's a huge gap. I mean, you think between Arsenal and Man United, between second and fourth, is 12. It's 44 from first to second. It's 113 between Spurs and Liverpool. It's 116 to Aston Villa. So yeah, I genuinely think Aston Villa should be ahead of us in the title just based on that alone. Obviously, it goes on to say, under fire, Postecoglou was without 11 crocked first-team stars for the tie against Villa. Remarkably, that was the 5th game this season that the absentee list is due to injury, illness, has hit double figures. I mean, 5 times a season to be missing half a squad is crazy. All of those have come since mid-January, so as our form has been pretty much crap since January, this will make sense. It's ruled out crucial men like keeper Vicario, Mickey van der Ven, Romero, Desi Adogi, as well as Brennan Johnson and Dominic Solanke. And to be fair, that's nice because obviously there are other players that we are missing in that time, like Oda Bear. We're missing Werner. We've missed, obviously, Maddison. Sarr and Basuma have been injured through that time. Bentancur, has missed time through suspension through December and things like that. It goes and says, Spurs have not had one game this term without a player missing through injury or illness, but the crisis took hold in the last 2 months. They've not had one game this term without a player missing through injury or illness is mental. Other teams are missing 1 or 2 here and there. We're missing more than the fingers on my hands. Okay. It's 8 fingers, by the way, if you didn't know. It's 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. Since December 12th, the Europa League tie at Rangers, Spurs have not had a single fixture without fewer than 6 players out. That's ridiculous. That is absolute. You're missing a quarter of your squad every single week without fail. Every single game, you're missing at least a quarter of your squad, if not half of it. It's crazy. I'm gonna come back and speak to you now. Obviously, I'll come back to the article in a second. But again, to say that we're missing at least 25% of your squad every single game, no other team's having to deal with that every single game. We've been having to deal with it pretty much most of the season. We haven't had Romero and I'm not going to count Mickey van der Ven's 45 minutes against Elfsborg. We haven't had those 2 guys in months. We haven't had Desi now for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. We've missed Odebear for something even similar. Werner's been gone now a few weeks. Johnson, Madison. Madison was gone, what, the 23rd of January? That was the Hoffenheim game. He's been missing since then. Vicario's been missing since City away. I know he played through that injury, but obviously a lot of that would have been just adrenaline. So yeah, I mean, Spencer's been injured at that time. Radu's now out for a whole year. How Archie Gray hasn't got injured, I don't know. Like, fair play to him. Obviously, I know when you're young, you recover a little bit better. Your muscles can do a little bit more for you. You know, you can handle the rigors of things sometimes a little bit better, right? But him, Kulusevski, Porro, how those guys haven't broken down, I don't know. Ben Davies is still fit somehow. I expected Davies to get injured already, but he's still fit. So yeah, to miss 6 players through injuries is crazy every single game. But to be hitting, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, sometimes 13 is just crazy, It is so, isn't he? We had our best team against Ipswich. We didn't have our best team against Ipswich. Nice try. Good to see that you haven't looked at that team. He actually did claim that the criticism was agenda driven to get him the sack. I can tell you, Ange, it is. I don't have to tell you that for free. There is a big old list, by the way, in this article where it will show you how many players have been missing per game. For example, Manchester United at home: Vicario, Doggy, Davies, Van der Ven, Romero, Werner, Odebear, and Richarlison. Can't lie, I'm seeing Richarlison quite a few times on this list. But yeah, these are all the things that get added up to losing, Ipswich at home, we had our strongest team, apparently. Van der Ven, Moore, Odebear, Richarlison all missing from that game. Arsenal away: Vicario, Forster, Doggy, Davies, Van der Ven, Romero, Bentancur, Odebear, and Werner. We're missing Aston Villa away last weekend: Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven, Dragajin, Doggy, Madison, Johnson, Werner, Odebear, Solanke, and Richarlison. I need to stop. There's so many Richarlisons. This is getting out of hand. Like, looking at this list is absolutely mental. Everton away: Vicario, Doggy, Van der Ven, Romero, Bissouma, Bentancur, Odebear, Werner, Johnson, Solanke. Leicester at home: Vicario, Doggy, Van der Ven, Romero, Spence, Odebear, Madison, Werner, Johnson, Solanke. It's just, this can't go on. This just cannot go on, Hey, Peter, how are you? It's a bonkers old article, this. And like I said, they show you, break down every single game, who we're missing, and they add it up for you. Liverpool away: Vicario, Doggy, Dragajin, Van der Ven, Romero, Odebear, Madison, Solanke, Werner, Johnson. I think I might have missed a name on there, but there was 10 missing from that game. Galatasaray away: Spence, Van der Ven, Romero, Moore, Werner, Odebear, and Richarlison. I don't really like to add Spence into that list, to be honest. I feel like that's a cheap shout. Because it's weird, because it's also not mentioned for Rangers away. It's not mentioned for Elfsborg, Hoffenheim. So where's the other ones? Where's the other Europa League games? AZ Alkmaar. It's not mentioned for those ones, but it's mentioned for Galatasaray. Maybe he got injured around that time and I've forgotten. But yeah, I think he was, actually, because he missed the 2 games previous to that, actually. So yeah, it might be they consider that in there. I mean, the fittest we were was West Ham at home, AZ Alkmaar at home, and Crystal Palace away. We were only missing Son for those games. Actually, that's another thing. How is Son not more injured this season? I don't understand it, I understand Ange cannot do better in this crisis situation, but again, he is partly responsible for these injuries. This high intensity in football is a big reason why our players are getting injured. Liverpool play high intensity football. So does City. Arsenal from time to time do. A lot of teams do it. I do think he's partly at blame. Absolutely. You'd be foolish to say he's not partly at blame. But also, it's like people say, well, it's his training methods. They train like once between games. They're not exactly training every single day. And when he is training players, he's training like 10 players because the rest of them are in the gym or in the medical room. You think of Romero and Van der Ven, both got injured in games. Davies injured in a game. Odebear got injured in a game. Richarlison injured in a game. Vicario injured in a game. this, I could go on and on. I'm not going to, but I could go on and on. Um, Mate, Devanch, there's no manager that you're bringing in that's going to sort this situation, bud. Jesus himself wouldn't be able to do it. All right, there's no manager that can fix this. Barcelona play extremely similar with football with Flick, but they have quality players to kill off games from the first half. There you go. I enjoyed them against Sevilla at the weekend. That was a good game. The article goes on and says it is not just the quantity of absentees, but the individuals missing too. They were talking about Arsenal. They said Tomiyasu and Kieran Tierney, who are both the backup fullbacks for Arsenal, they've accounted for 55 of those 169, more than 30%. Yet Spurs' first choice centre backs in Van der Ven and Romero amount to 52 of Spurs' 213. So those two backups have missed 3 games compared to 3 games more than our starting centre backs, which is just bonkers. Frustrated fans point to the fact that both Romero and Van der Ven started the league defeats to Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, and Crystal Palace, while many also suspect that Postecoglou's intense training methods contribute to the high volume of muscle injuries, which also happened in his previous clubs. The sessions are understood to have been extremely light over the last few months due to the relentless schedule. Ange said, I know people look at our training, but I guarantee you we've hardly trained for the last 4 months. We're looking at our processes, but the wiser thing to do is stay calm, investigate it properly, and make sure we make the right decisions. Crucially, Spurs chairman Daniel Levy has factored in the injury crisis when analysing the alarming form. Well, of course, it's kind of what we're going through. There does appear to be light at the end of the tunnel with some players very close to return. Then the pressure will truly be on Postecoglou with no injury excuses, legitimate as they are, to fall back on. I agree with that. So fascinating article. I really recommend reading it if you get a spare 2 minutes today. It's not exactly a very long article, okay? It's good. It's a good read. I really do recommend it. I think it's right. I think he has to hold some blame. Absolutely has to hold blame. You'd be foolish for not saying that Ange shouldn't hold some blame. I also think the medical team needs to hold blame as well. I think too many fans seem to just let the medical team get away with it. It's like letting Daniel Levy get away with a really terrible transfer window. No. Got to hold some blame at some point. You're not blameless in life, And the medical team we've had to replace how many times recently? I mean, look on the surface of things. Something's not right there. So what needs to happen now is, and I'm going to talk about some players that are coming back from injury because we've got some good news surrounding some returnees, which, I can't wait. Now, I believe, if I remember from Matt Law saying that yesterday and today, the players have had 2 days off. So 2 days off, kick back, play a little bit of PlayStation, play some Football Manager. I know 2025 has been cancelled, I think, but play some Football Manager, relax, whatever it is that you do to chill out, do that. But there was some players back towards this week, and Matt Law saying that the first group of injured players set to return are Vicario, Destiny Adogi, James Maddison, Johnson, and Odebear. I mean, look at that. You're getting back your starting keeper, your starting left back, your main creative player, your starting right winger. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely bonkers. I mean, you're getting back 5 players there? I think actually the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, you will be getting back those 5, obviously, as we just talked about. You would expect Mickey Van der Ven and Romero to be alive somewhere in this list. Again, something's not right in this situation. Maybe they start to train this week, but something's not right in this world. One played 45 minutes and vanished. One was back at training and vanished. No one knows where they are. Something's not right there, in my opinion. I could be wrong, and maybe I'm reading too much into the tea leaves. But I've seen them. I've seen them move. I've seen them play. And now no one knows where they are. Something's not gone the way it should have done there, right? And I get they want to take it easy because of the Dragic injury. I do get that, and I'm not angry with that. Just something is amiss, is all I'm saying. But getting Desi Adogi back will be fantastic. It is going to be fantastic. I think Pedro Porro is a good player, but it'd be nice if Pedro could have a game off here and there. It would be nice. It'd be nice for Archie Gray to get a game off here and there. You know, Davies, obviously, you'd expect Davies to play at the weekend versus Manchester United, because I'm just going to assume that Mickey Van der Ven and Romero are both injured and someone's shot one of their foots off their bones and off their body. And the other one is, I don't know, in a hot air balloon flying around and he can't get down. Because that's at least I have an idea then, you know. That's a joke, by the way. It's a joke. I wouldn't go in a hot air balloon. I'm too scared of heights. Also, it's a balloon that you're flying in. Like, what the hell? That's just, it blows my mind. But I expect Davies start, Danso will start. But you know, will Destiny Doggy start the weekend? I don't know if he would. My thinking is half an hour, maybe. Obviously, Destiny plays really well against Man United. He has a lot of success. I don't know. I'm sure I'll think about it on the preview later in the week, you know. At least sensible breakdowns to why and how we're getting beaten. Let's be honest, it's a freaky combination of our style. Yeah, do you know what, Martin? That's the perfect way to sum it up. It's a freaky situation. There's things that we probably could have done better, and there's things that are out of our control. Some of these injuries we probably could have prevented. Some of them we can't. Vicario breaking his ankle, there's not a lot you can do there. There isn't. Van der Ven playing against Elfsborg, the medical team would have said to Ange he can play. Maybe he shouldn't have played. I don't know. Also, Son, Decky, Biss, Bentancur, all fatigue playing game after games. Yeah, I think they are. I think Sarr is the big one. I mean, the energy that you normally see from Sarr, it just isn't there. And I think that is purely down to fatigue. I don't think it's down to him being bad. I think that is down with Sarr being fatigued. Not blaming this live proceeds to not hold Ange accountable for anything. Well, I did. So good effort there, bud. Playing FM right now. Love that. Love that. Tottenham job vacancies. Medical doctors needed urgently to apply. Please contact anybody besides Daniel Levy. We'll pay you one skywalk and one go on the F1 track a week. That's a good deal, is it not? But Daniel, I need money to live. Don't need to live when you go on the skywalk. Odebert info seems to be false. He's a few weeks away, apparently. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you've got Mikey at the moment, obviously. You've got Sonny. If Johnson's back, you've got Jono and Kulu. You've got Tell. Which I was thinking about Tell. If he's not playing striker, he should play right wing. Just feel like on the end of things, like Johnson, I think he would do well in. I don't really want him on the left wing. He can play there, but he'd be like, of all the three that he plays, that would be the third of my options, if you know what I mean. Did I see the interview on Rowe? What's Rowe? Also, don't understand the Levy out protest, I'm afraid. The squad is approved by Ange. Every new player has been his choice. There's a lot that goes into it, Paddy. It's not just this one window that we're talking about. I think one of the problems is when players come back, people expect them to be amazing. In reality, it's probably going to take a couple of games. I would agree, Mark. I'd agree. It's like when people, I have to remind people when they go, if everyone's fit, Mickey Van der Ven plays left back. It's like, well, what? It's like, well, Desi no good. It's like, Desi had invasive quad surgery, quad, quite a big muscle to be working on, had no preseason, had no time to get up to speed, and had to just play straight away. Yeah, of course he wasn't going to be as good as he was previous. The guy's still a very good left back. And you've seen flashes this season where he's been really, really good. I just think he could probably do with a few weeks to get back up to speed and ease him back in. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where we don't have that ability. Had Van der Ven and Romero been fit, or had we had a left back at the club that wasn't Sergio Reguilon, they'd probably say, well, Destiny will get you half an hour at the weekend. We'll get you a little bit of time here and there, but we're going to ease you back in. Hell, if we had those two centre halves fit, we could then, and Mickey could play a little bit left back for half an hour. You then get, Destiny, we're going to get you half an hour, get you 60 minutes. You've got Spence that can factor in there. But, my issue with Spence is I still view him as a right back. He's had success at left back, but for me, he's still a right back, and I want him and Porro to be able to rotate. In worst case scenario, you go Spence needs you for 15 minutes at left back. But in reality, you go Spence and Porro right back, Spence Porro right back. I don't want to see either of them anywhere else but there. Just need to get bloody fit for that, The other one's lost in space, yeah. The hot air balloon went a bit mental. But look, if it is the case, let's say Odebear is a little while off. Let's be worst case in this list when we talk about Vicario, Udogie, Madison, Johnson, and Odebear. If Odebear is, let's say, end of Feb, you're still getting 4 players back for one game. It's a third of a team that you can put out just from those 4 returning. People haven't rated James Madison this season, right? Which I think is bonkers. I think he is still one of our best players. Absolutely one of our best players. This season he's played 31 times. He has 15 goal contributions, 1 every 2. 22 times in the Premier League, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 goal contributions in 22 games in the Premier League. If he's no good anymore, then Jesus Christ, there's a lot of crap in the league, is there not? Also Spurs. I did have a quick watch. I never actually finished it. I'll do that today. Actually, I'm going to finish it today. Is there any loans we can recall to cover? Well, the thing is, we should be getting really healthy by the start of March. So there's no point. And the idea for those guys out on loan is to stay out on loan to get as much football as they can over this year, with the view of, look, they're going to be back next season and they're going to really improve us. Manor Solomon, for whatever you think about Manor and all the situation, he's having a really good season at Leeds. He didn't start very well, but it's this with Manor Solomon, right? There's a hair on my mic, excuse me. He misses pretty much all of last season, right? He goes to Leeds, and my friend who's a Leeds fan was a bit like, God, he's a bit crap, isn't he? And I'm like, mate, he's been out all season. You could probably do with giving him six to 8 weeks to get just up to speed, get match fitness, get match sharpness back. Once he got that, I know he missed a little bit of time through injury this season, but not a lot. Once he got that, he's been brilliant for Leeds. And that's my point. If you can give time, and obviously, who said it, just to back me up here? Mark, thank you, Mark. I couldn't remember who it was. I had to find you. Like Mark said, we expect too much from players as soon as they're back from injuries. We don't give them a room to breathe. We don't give them an opportunity to get up to speed. We don't give them anything, but we just go, oh, you're back from injury now. That means you're 100%, and that means I want a 10 out of 10 performance. Which obviously, look, I love the energy. I love your positivity. You're absolutely delusional, but I love your positivity and the idea of that. It's like when you return from work after 2 weeks off on holiday. You're not in the flow of things. You need a day or two to get through the emails, to get yourself back up to speed, and then you start hitting your flow again. But if your boss went, well, I want all this done today, why is it not done? You're like, mate, I've just come back. Give me a second. It's the same thing. Just because they're footballers, they get paid good money, doesn't change the fact that they're also a human being. That's why Pedro Porro right now being basically dead on his feet because he's having to play about 1 million minutes a week. The fact that he has the most minutes of any outfield player in Europe's top 5 leagues, that is ridiculous. And yes, his form will have dropped because of that. And it's only right that it's going to drop. I'm not expecting Pedro Porro, who played last season like once a week and was really good, to 3 times a week, no rotation, keep the performances up. It's not how it works. Getting 50 million for Solomon will be very useful. You can get 10 to 15 million for Solomon for sure. If you don't, I think you've done a terrible job at moving him on. Spencer rotated with Porro, I agree. 25 million for Højbjerg and Hill too. That's 40 million. Hey, there is the opportunity to cash in on a lot of these players who are out on loan. Obviously, I know Højbjerg you'll get your money for, but Solomon's, Hills, you got the opportunity to cash in on them and reinvest it. I'm looking at like left back. What are they going to do at left back next season? Vuskovic is going to be with the team next year. What are they going to do at left back? Davies, Van der Ven. Are they going to go into next season doing the exact same thing? What they can do at central midfield with Basuma and Bentancur, obviously being 1 year left on their deals when it comes to the summer. Are they going to view Kulusevski as a right winger? Are they going to view him more as a central midfielder? If so, then what are you going to do at right wing? What's happening at striker with Richarlison and Tell? So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered between February 11th and obviously the summer transfer window. And I think, look, more will become apparent in the months ahead with obviously what do you have in Tell? Let's see what Tell gives you. What have you got in Danso? Let's see more of Danso. Yeah, what happens with Kinski? Let's see what happens there. But obviously, I think a lot of time needs to be just given to these guys to just show what we have. Let's see what Mikey has to offer a bit more. Odebear. Let's keep seeing what he's got because we've barely seen. I mean, Odebear. Let's have a look how many minutes he's played this season. He in all competitions. So this is absolutely every competition this season. He's played 816 minutes, and 90 of those were in the championship. So you're talking a guy that's played 726 minutes this season for Spurs. We need to see what he has, and that's why I'm saying get him back fit, get him up to speed, see what we have there. I think as much as I want to do a video saying what do Spurs need in the summer, it'll all be dependent on how those guys are doing out on loan. Let's see what Lancashire has to offer. Yes, we got Scarlett, but let's see what Lancashire has to offer. Let's see what Vuskovic and Devine are doing out in Belgium. Let's see what Vlies does out in Spain. Ashley Phillips out at Stoke. I don't. Donley. Donley and Josh Keeley. Let's see what we've got there. So people have said we need touchline wingers for this system to work. I don't think they exist in the modern game. So can anyone actually name any? Well, out and out touchline wingers, they are a little bit different because a lot of times your right winger's left footed and your left winger's right footed. It just doesn't really exist as much as they used to, Magic, Odebear. Oh, sorry. That's the U2 commenting. Valise and Divine, maybe 5 million each. Well, the thing is, they'll probably want to see what those guys have got in pre-season, And I think a lot of our business, yes, there's a lot of business that we sit there like Højbjerg, Brian Hill. We know what we're going to be doing with those players. There's players like Divine. There's players like Valise and, those sort of guys that we kind of say, oh, we want to see what they've got for us in pre-season because you can think with Divine as well. Divine's playing in a really competitive league. The Belgian league is a very good league. Obviously, the Leeds playing for Espanyol probably isn't stylistically the best team for us to be learning to because obviously the fact they sit back and they don't really get on the ball as much. Tariq Mitchell on a free seems no brainer. Good player. Good player. Good player. Can we sell Joe Lewis, please? Need a proper fitness and strengthening coach. Send me in. We're going to be doing loads of bench press every single day. But Andy, we need to work on our quads. Loads of bench press. All right. They're like, what's on the card today? I'm like, you won't believe it. They're like, is it bench press? I'm like, it's bench press. Take your pre-workout. Let's go. Odebear's mates would tell from France in 21. There you are. Move Valise on. We hold on to players too long when it's not working out. Well, I think they'll probably want to see what Valise does in pre-season, which I get. Obviously, having spent money on him only, a year and a half ago. They have to make a decision on players like Richarlison, though. Not staying fit. Bissouma and Bentancur. There's a conversation that has to be had on those two. Reguilon be gone. I look like such a hater at times when it comes to Reguilon. I don't hate the guy. I don't even think he's a terrible player, but he's not good enough for Spurs, in my opinion. I'd rather... Already 4 players ahead of him at left back, But, you'll be moving him on. What happens with... Fraser Forster, there's a conversation to be had there. Werner, obviously, loan deal. There's a lot going to be happening already, Consider our luck. There is a possibility that even 5 years from now, we won't have a 10-game period where all first 11 is available. It's cliche, but Odegaard getting back is literally like a new signing. You're right. It does actually feel like a new signing. I mean, do you remember the hype that we had with him, being like, he's a really exciting player. He's really this and that and the other. And then it just got ripped away from us. It's like getting a Christmas present and going, oh, it's so much fun, and them going, but you can only play with it for like half an hour, and then it's gone for like months, and you're like, oh, what? Odubek can beat a player, as can tell, and even Sonny, but all of them want to cut inside on their strong foot. Touchdown wins don't use it. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way football is now. You know, Reguilon did nothing wrong when played. I saw him give the ball away countless times. Poor crosses, stupid bookings, loads of missed challenges, good energy, and I think people kind of only remember his energy, but I remember the things that the things that people crucify. Desi Doggy, not Jed Spence because he's been really good. Pedro Porro, Heung-Min Son, Brennan Johnson, the people that crucify those players, you have to be fair. I say, Johnson, poor work rate at times. Sonny, poor first touches. Pedro Porro, giving the ball away too much. It's about being consistent. Reguilon's not good enough to play for Spurs. He just isn't. He should have been gone in the summer, but for some reason we couldn't get rid of him. Sell Richie to the super high quality league and Antarctica. I heard Penguin FC is a serious team out there. He looked very good against Everton in one game. Yeah, well, he did look good against Everton. He really annoying though. He missed that sitter against Newcastle, didn't he? The back post where it's literally like the goal's open, just a body part that you can use. Just touch it and it'll go in. And he missed. It feels like a new sign until you realise we are oversaturated in that position, either him or Tell. Well, Magic, the key point of this is we never fit. So it's good to be oversaturated when you never fit. I also think Tell won't be used on the left wing. I think be used on the right wing. And we need an actual left-footed right winger. Kulusevski. Problem is, you use that against people and they go, no, I want someone that's like really quick. It's like, okay, fair enough. I get it. But a lot of the time is our right back is the one that creates more so on the right wing position. Obviously, Johnson's crossing is actually quite solid. He gets told what he is told what to do before people cry about it. There's no one in the box. It's not Johnson's fault. He's told, get out your feet, cross it straight away. The left wing is supposed to be the one that creates it. Hence why Johnson's one of our top goal scorers. Kulu's a 10. He's a 10 out of 10. Kula sexy. Teller's a 9. He's a 9 out of 10. I don't have one for that one. I don't have a pun. I'll think of one. I don't have one right now. But let's see. But look, it's really good stuff. Read the article. I really recommend it. Read the article because I think if you have a view that Ange doesn't do enough when it comes to injuries, or you have a view that Ange does too much when it comes to injuries, read the article. Get a bit more of an understanding to the situation is what I would say. Obviously, loan roundup. Let me know your thoughts down below on that. Some good stuff out of those guys out on loan. Obviously, Jamie Donley basically scoring from the halfway line. Pretty damn cool. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. Matisse is so talented. I like that. Talented. I like that. Thank you so much for joining. I will be back I won't be back later. I don't think we'll have any real news, but back tomorrow for sure. Obviously, talking more Spurs. Do join me. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your days, afternoons, mornings, evenings, wherever in the world. And I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.